Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Corporate Cowboys podcast. As always, I'm your host, Alex, joined today by your co-host, Alex.
Yeehaw!
Today is another wonderful 30-minute consult free for you to take advantage of, take notes of. If you find yourself in a similar situation, then that would be your cue to hit us up. Catch us on Instagram. That's at Corporate Cowboys with a Z. On Patreon, you'll find the podcast, the Corporate Cowboys podcast, right? And then there's a couple of donation links if you want to pitch us a couple dollars. That'll go towards business expenses, legal fees. Help keep this podcast free, right?
Yes, sir.
A little proof of life. Today is Wednesday of all days, May 3, 2023.
Yeah, boy, we got shit to do today too, but fuck it.
Fuck it. Well, then let's dive right in real quick. Give our audience a good 30 minutes or as close to 30 minutes free consult as we can.
Yes, sir.
Before they choose to give us a follow, a like, or a subscribe, or fucking throw us a dollar. We have to up our value proposition to convince them. So this question today is coming from r/career guidance.
Okay.
And they've tagged it for advice. So that means that they want some perspective. They want an opinion.
Okay.
Before we give any opinions, though, Alex.
Okay, Bob.
You know the legal disclaimer is that anything we talk about on this medium, right, on this podcast or anything that we publish should not be construed as legal advice if you haven't retained us for that purpose, right? So we do not promote or advocate for any wrongful activity, any wrongdoing, nothing illicit. Even though we touch on it and we talk about it, it's not meant to go out and do, right? You can't say gangster rap made you do it just because we're talking about it.
Gangster rap made me do it.
Right. So our hypothetical client today is asking, well, I guess they start by saying, I made a mistake and now I may be fired. Ooh. So they're asking, should I resign or take my chances? Should I turn tail and run before it fucking blows up, or should I, roll the dice? Alex, what do you think? Just off top.
Yeah, see, this is like one of those type of, it depends on how you fucked up. And it depends.
Definitely, yeah.
It depends, I think, on two things: what kind of job you have,
okay,
and how you fucked up.
Absolutely, I think so too.
Like there's certain jobs that are like reputation based that can,
where like if you fumble the ball, you fumble the bag entirely, and you're at risk.
Where your reputation means so much,
right?
Like your reputation means a lot, anyways. And you should always maintain a good reputation if you can.
Of course.
But there's other jobs where your reputation is more.
It's more flexible. It's more malleable. Like it could stand. It could stand to take a couple of hits before you're on the chopping block.
Yeah, like for example, lawyers, right? Like
lawyers aren't always right. Let's put it that way.
They're not always right. And here's the thing, though, too, is that like even if I get a few bad complaints because of this, that, like my reputation is backed by my credentials. You know what I mean? The fact that I'm barred up in this state means that I know some shit.
Right.
But if you're like a Instagram influencer, all of your value is put into how much other people value me.
Yeah, it's literally superficial.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's literally skin deep.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Okay.
Or like the difference between actors and athletes, right? Actors are people that you like and you want to go watch. Athletes are people who are the best at what they do.
Okay, so then this leads into how you might have fucked up, right? Where it depends on where you're working and what you're working on. So it also, that second factor you mentioned was how you might have fucked up. Where let's take that example you gave where the actor and the athlete, right? You wouldn't expect an athlete to naturally be an actor or to be competent to a level of acting like an actor would, someone who is trained in the art of acting and theater,
Yeah.
right? So if you ask an athlete to act something out for you and they fuck it up, one would assume or presume that the athlete wouldn't get knocked as hard as, say, an actor who fumbled the ball, because that's what they're trained in. Like, if you give an actor a script and they fuck it up, you fire them. But if you give an athlete a script, I mean, you might be more patient with them because they are not a trained actor.
Yeah, and I think where I was going to, I think is that, like, you know, beyond what you fucked up on, right? Like, that's one area you got to look on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just generally, if you're, you know, somebody with a more delicate reputational stance, you're going to be more inclined to want to resign rather than to just let it go and hope for the best.
Okay.
Because
do you think that also depends on the level of position they have? Like, if they were entry level, or if they were like an executive? Like, if they had more to lose, like if they were an executive and they had more to lose, it might be to their benefit that they left without getting, you know, aired out.
Yeah, I think so. Just because, like, so if you're really well off and you're an executive, then you're making much more money than you will. Like, okay, so let me explain it this way. I think there's only one reason that you would stay instead of resign. Well, two reasons. One, because you really like the job.
Yeah.
And you don't think you can get another better job.
Right.
And so if you're an executive, you probably don't think that way, because you probably think you can get hired anywhere.
Yeah, that or like you mentioned before, your reputation could stand to take a hit. I mean, you might have the support of the organization behind you.
Or maybe your reputation can't, and your reputation is everything.
Yeah.
And you make a lot of money based on your reputation. So by safeguarding your reputation, you're safeguarding more money in the future, right?
Right.
So you wouldn't be worried about staying at that job. You just want to find another job.
No, for sure. Understandable.
The other reason that you might do it, rather than trying to stay at that job because you like it and you don't think you can find one better, is because you want to get unemployment.
Which I guess as an executive may or may not.
Resignators don't get unemployment, my friend.
Resigners?
Resignators, resigners.
Well, unless they had cause, right? Because the presumption is that you don't get it, but if you resign for cause, like if it was...
That's fair.
Yeah, if you resign for cause, you could like make an appeal.
What are
to
some causes that you've heard
board.
of? Can you think of any causes that you've heard of?
Discrimination.
If you feel like you fucked up.
Oh, if you fuck up and you resign,
yeah,
that's just you falling on your sword. Yeah, you have to eat that.
You're not getting no unemployment, right?
Nah, you have to eat that.
So if you're at a low paying job and you fucked up,
then you have to do it moving. I mean,
but shouldn't you just stay and just wait till you get fired so you can get unemployment?
You could, and that still is what the hypothetical client is asking, is taking their chances. They're just rolling the dice on getting fired.
But see, that's my point.
So if they don't get fired, then yeah, your reputation might have got knocked down a couple points, but it doesn't mean that you can't build it back up.
But you're at a low paying job. You're already at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my point.
At least you're still like, if they choose to keep you, you're still making money.
So there's only two reasons that you would need to keep you would want to stay instead of resign. And that's one, to make sure you get unemployment.
Right.
And two, in case you really want your job and you really want to keep it because you don't think you can get a better one. Right? So usually those two reasons.
Seems a little simplified, but yeah. I think I see what you're going. I see where you're going with that.
Usually those two reasons are reasons that lower wage workers would use.
Yeah.
Do you agree or no?
I would agree. I would agree.
I mean, so that's why I say it depends. Like, if you're a lower wage, you probably have a bigger propensity to want to stay and just tuck it out.
Yeah.
And see
so
what
happens. So if your mistake does pop up and they have to like air someone out, you're gonna be like, well, if if your name somehow was recorded next to that mistake, it's inevitable, right? But if the mistake gets swept under the rug, just chalk it up to somebody looking out for you.
Yeah. And
right.
if you do get aired out and you get fired, at least you get unemployment
while you look for another fucking job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we went up on a little tangent there on the title, but let me read the hypothetical clients.
There's
facts.
A hypothetical. I thought there was facts, huh?
Yeah, there are facts here,
okay.
and it's kind of long, but I mean, we ate up a good 10 minutes
because it's really important. I think that backdrop was important, but now it's important with that general backdrop.
Yeah, right? If the hypothetical client can give us some context.
Yeah, like what did you fuck up on?
Right.
Because that's really gonna like hone in on what your decision should be.
Exactly. So they write, and Alex, at any point, if you think you have enough to make a reasonable inference on another fact, interrupt me.
Okay.
All right. So they begin with, I made a mistake and now I may be fired for it. They're a bank teller in New Jersey. I work for a small local bank in my area and have for a year and a half. While not satisfied with my job, I want to use it as a stepping stone to learn new things before moving on. I have an associate's degree in business administration and am now a certified notary. A notary public, right? Yesterday, I had a customer request a large sum of money. They misspelled sum, so maybe go back to school. Okay. Large sum of money.
It's a S-O-M-E.
Yeah. I went into the vault and grabbed the money necessary plus extra because Fridays are paydays and a lot of people cash checks. So I count the money and strap the remaining and send out the money. However, while doing so, I noticed a strap was missing from my drawer, and called the customer in the drive-through lane and told them to count their money while I count mine. I then went to do so. Luckily, I had balanced before. They're using a lot of fucking teller jargon in this shit.
Okay.
So straps, I'm assuming, is like bands, like money bands. So like they're missing a whole fucking band of money.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
So I count the money and strap the remaining and send out the money. However, while doing so, I noticed a strap was missing from my drawer and called the customer in the drive-through lane and told them to count their money while I count mine. I then went to do so. Luckily, I had balanced before this customer, so it didn't take me long, and it showed I was missing a large sum. Now they write sun like the fucking star in the sky. A large sum of money. Son, you fucked up, son.
Fucked up, son.
When I went to call the customer and send her money back in, when I went to call the customer to send her money back in, she drove away before I could get the words out. Damn, you got jugged, fool. You got your shit jacked. The customer then called and denied I gave her too much. No, the customer, when called, denied I gave her too much. My manager counted me down, had to fill out a statement, and told me the amount I gave out usually meant immediate termination. However, my manager beloved me. Beloved me? Just say loved. My manager loved me due to the evidence. Beloved me due to the evidence?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? However, my manager, believe me. I think they meant believe me. Believe me due to the evidence. She said it could go one way or another. This is the second job I have ever had, the other being retail at a supermarket for 5 years. I am also moving into a new apartment that is 2 times the rent due to my landlord selling my place. When I told members of my family the situation, asking for help if I lost my job, they said that maybe, even though they happily would have allowed me to stay before. I have plenty of savings to cover months of working, but my new place gives me a time limit. Maybe they wrote this hella hastily, but there's a lot of fucking typographical errors in this shit.
Yeah. He sounds like a kind of a dummy.
Sounds, maybe he's young. Maybe they're young. You can't assume their fucking gender or whatever. But maybe they're young. Maybe because this is their second job.
It is young shit. I don't want to call people a dummy, but yeah.
It could just be young shit.
young shit. Oh,
Just young, unlearned shit.
Keep going. I gotta process all these facts.
Some have recommended I resign instead of waiting to be fired so I have a better time putting it on my resume. Others say get fired for unemployment. Hey, there you go. They brought up that unemployment fact. Which would be the better option? Should I wait for the investigation to conclude and take my chances, or leave while I can? Obviously, I am terrified. Any help would be appreciated. Alex, do you know where they fucked up? Well, actually, we don't know if they were the only teller on duty, but if they were not the only teller on duty, they fucked up by even telling on themselves, fam. I'd have just kept my mouth shut and ate that shit.
No, I think you're wrong, fool.
I disagree. If there was more than one teller, then there would be a formal investigation and everybody's hands are empty. I mean, yeah, they made a mistake, but they don't even know if they handed it out.
Yeah,
their drawer just says that they were low.
But that's my point. Is that you know how much more suspicious you're gonna look if you don't say anything? Those are the niggas that get prosecuted.
Nah, it's just pleading the fifth.
No.
I mean, it's not even pleading the fifth because it's not
with money, bro. Not with money. Not with traceable assets, dog. Like here's the difference between, and this is an important lesson. Like, there's a difference between somebody trying to get you for what you said or admit something based on what you said.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about traceable assets, my dog.
Yeah.
Like, the shit is missing.
If that were the case, I mean, their manager already told them that the amount of money that left the drawer is already a terminable offense.
Okay, I don't give a fuck about terminable offense. We're talking about
like immediately terminable.
We're talking about criminal shit, my nigga.
But then
we're talking about criminal fraud. That's what you're talking about. Like, if you don't say shit,
yeah,
and shit just pops up missing,
yeah,
and they find any sort of connection between you and the person that might have the money,
yeah,
that's criminal theft, criminal fraud.
But there is no connection between.
That's criminal embezzlement. But I understand that. But imagine how it looks if you ignore the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it looks wild. It looks crazy.
Yeah. So what the investigation is going to do is it's going to look like, okay, is there any connection between the teller and the person who allegedly has the money?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not scared of the heat. It's like, if they came down to investigate, like the money's gone.
What I'm saying is, why they're going to find out that it's you anyways.
I mean,
why would you not say something?
It's a matter of, I mean, it also depends on, like I said, if there's two or more tellers. Like, if it's like a big bank, actually, hold up, they say it's a small local bank, huh?
But even if
they might have been the only one on duty.
Even if there's two tellers, you think they're not going to be able to, with all the cameras there and all the security, they're not going to be able to find out where the fuck this money went?
Because the money was incorporated as they were picking it up. Like, they're going through a regular motion, transacting a regular withdrawal.
All that shit is recorded, my dog.
Yeah. So they don't know. They don't know how much money. They don't know how much money and at what time.
I guarantee
it left the vault.
I guarantee you, if it's a financial institution,
man,
and they are a bank,
they don't have all the money chipped, bro.
Listen, and if they are a bank, they've been through enough criminal movies on Netflix to figure out a process to keep track of every fucking dollar they have in there.
From when it leaves the vault to the teller.
Leaves one hand to the motherfucking next.
I don't believe that, bro.
Yes, sir. You know how many people have tried to steal from banks?
Nigga, call me Danny Ocean, bro.
You know
Ocean's
what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, I think he did the right thing in this case. As soon as you find out that you fucked up, sometimes one of the worst things you can do, sometimes,
is to
cover up.
Yeah,
it's to cover up.
It's to sit. It's to sit on something that's exposable, right?
You gotta realize when
I think the most sincere would have been like if they didn't know they handed it out and they were like, well, shit, I went about my day and then I got hit for this after, and I don't know at what point I handed it out.
Yeah, but people aren't smart enough. And that's the real truth, man.
Yeah.
Is people aren't smart enough to intentionally look like they're not intentional.
That's some higher level thinking, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And to those listening, if y'all need help looking unintentional, fucking hit us up.
Yeah. So I mean, like, but
it makes sense. But it makes sense. What you're saying, like, it is the smartest to involve your manager immediately. Because if anybody is capable of getting you off the hook, and they believe you, and you have a plausible story, yeah, the investigation might come down, you might lose your job, but you did what was honorable.
Yeah, and not only that, you're not going to get criminally charged.
Yeah.
Your reputation as, like, and so that would really fuck up your, like, you know what would really fuck up your reputation as a bank teller?
Is outright lying about it.
Embezzlement.
Yeah. Right.
Embezzlement, criminal embezzlement.
Yeah.
You know what would just, like, irk it a little bit? A little financial fuck up.
Yeah, that's true. And even if you get terminated, right, well, you got the unemployment. And while your family may have a point that if you resigned, it might appear as on good terms on paper.
That looks suspicious.
But it looks suspicious as fuck, especially if you plan on using these folks as a reference. Yeah. You could get terminated from a spot, but if you left in a manager's good graces, that's the manager you want as a reference.
In a world where you just made a mistake,
yeah.
Why would you resign unless, because it just makes you look like you're scared of something. Mm-hmm. And it makes you look like you're a criminal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
I don't want no embezzlement shit to come out, so I'm going to quit.
Right.
And
well, then I guess the next question is, are you going to list this place as a previous place of employment?
That's true.
Yeah.
Man.
So like if the fear runs deep, no, you're probably not going to list them. And that's going to be even more suspicious.
No, I feel you.
So you can still get terminated, right? This hypothetical client could still get terminated. And when it comes time to apply to another spot, you could put them down as a reference. Now, if the manager is a good sport, they're not going to air out the fact that you committed mistakes. They're going to highlight the positives of your time there.
I mean, I wouldn't be against looking for new jobs. Like, you can look for new jobs while you're working.
Yeah.
And while there's an investigation, you know what I'm saying? So that way, if you do find a new, just as good job, you can always transfer to the new job.
Just jump ship immediately.
During the investigation, so that you know, in case you do get fired, you already have a job lined up.
That's right.
So you just go to that job, and you don't have to worry. But yeah, I would wait for them to fire you otherwise. And get yourself some unemployment and look innocent as fuck in the process. Yeah. You just look like somebody who fucked up.
Now, and they say here, obviously, I'm terrified. Fam, it's all right. It's understandable. It's your second job. You haven't been all the way around the block, right? You have to take 3 left turns to get around the block, right? This is your second job. Fucking relax.
Yeah.
So at this point, really, the worst that could happen is you get terminated. No. The worst you could happen is you fucking lie about it, right? And it comes off as embezzlement. That's how you fuck up.
And maybe you didn't even embezzle it. Maybe you just so happened to.
Maybe it was an honest mistake, but you trying to cover it up is going to fuck you up.
Yeah. Maybe you don't know that. Maybe you didn't know that you had a connection, like a minuscule connection with the person you were with.
Yeah. And if they pull down, who does that? The SEC, right?
I think it might be the FBI phone.
The FBI,
because it's
or the investigative arm of the IRS, something like that. Somebody comes down and audits, like forensically audits the bank.
Oh, you know what? There are bank agencies.
Yeah,
I forget the name of it, but yeah, there's a bank bureau that fucking.
Because they will come down and crawl up the bank's ass to find out where that money went. Yeah. And especially that might be one of the reasons that your manager tells you that the specific amount of money that left your drawer is immediately a fireable offense, because having a specific amount of money might arise to a level where it requires agency involvement, right? Yeah. So that moves from something civil to something criminal.
Yeah, and maybe it's like a what we call in the legal field is a rebuttable presumption. Rebuttable presumption.
That there was embezzlement involved. Yeah. That there was some form of financial fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be. I'm not saying that there is, but I could assume that they red flag certain transactions.
Yeah, and at this point, you're right. We are dealing with Federal Reserve notes. So if the feds are involved, they just got to find like
and so that's my point, like,
one or 2 points of connection, like a couple of degrees. They say it's a couple of degrees of separation to everybody.
Yeah.
The most minuscule connection, like Alex is saying, is enough to get you popped.
Yeah. So, you know,
at this point, just see it through, my boy.
So it sounds like you fucked up twice. You fucked up twice, right? You fucked up because
you handed it out first.
Because you handed out
and you didn't count your funds.
You handed out too big of a transaction.
That's right.
And then you overpaid the transaction that was already too big to hand out.
They definitely fucked up trying to multitask when they were in the vault. They said, "Oh, I was in the vault. I picked up the client's stack that they needed, and then I picked up another stack because I know it's Friday. I know it's Friday and folks cash their checks out, and this person hands out both stacks to the client." Right? That's you fucking up. It's one transaction at a time. I mean,
and you just count your money, bro.
Yeah, I would imagine the vault ain't that far away. What are you being lazy for?
Yeah, his boss is probably like, what a fucking idiot. Like, well, how do you give out an extra
fucking band. Another strap.
What is that, a fucking, I think it's like 10 racks, right?
Band? Well, it depends what denomination, yeah.
I think it's one strand is like 10 racks.
One band, if it's ones, it's 100. If it's like fives, what is it, 500? But if it's all hundreds, yeah, it's 10 fucking
10
racks.
Grand? He gave out extra 10 grand by accident?
Hell yeah.
Idiot.
I'd fire your ass immediately, bro.
I would fire
word?
you.
It's gone, bro?
It's
all right,
gone?
take
So
the day,
are you,
bro.
My boy. So are you.
Take the rest of the week, bro. Matter of fact.
Come back when you find it.
That's that corporate cowboy shit, bro. All right, let's take a look at one or two of these comments real quick because we're coming up on 30 minutes. But we do like to, put some eyeballs on what other Redditors comment to our hypothetical Reddit client, right? Sometimes they're good suggestions, sometimes they're shit.
Yeah.
But that just comes with the territory of who uses Reddit, right? I mean, we use it for data collection and analysis. We don't so much contribute, right? Other than criticize and critique. We critique. Say it professionally. Critique. We don't criticize because we hate. We critique because we appreciate.
Yeah. We critique and we modify and we accentuate the good stuff.
Hey, that's what's up.
You know what I'm saying?
So this first comment here says, from one bank teller, less time than you have, to another. Ooh, okay, so we got some personal experience. Bank cameras are no joke. As long as they have a visual on the money you ended up giving out, the cams should be a good enough resolution to count it over your shoulder. Ooh, should have a good enough resolution to count it over your shoulder and know definitively how much you gave her.
What'd I tell you?
And if they can see that you gave her too much, they should know she is lying. Okay, so then in this case, well, because we never contemplated that they would investigate the client.
Oh, I did. That's why I said there's going to be an investigation for criminal embezzlement.
Okay. But we never, well, we put it in perspective. We framed it around the teller. But maybe you were talking about how the investigation would also bring in the customer, the person who was at the window.
That's what I was thinking, man. Is that the customer,
okay.
The customer, they're trying to investigate whether the customer is lying or whether the teller is lying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why would you quit your job and make yourself look suspicious?
You see, I solely framed it from the perspective of the teller because they're the ones who believe to be in hot water.
That's why I'm talking about criminal embezzlement.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're already one step ahead, thinking that like this investigation is going to come down and they're going to rope in the customer who was out the window.
Because if you're a third party looking at $10,000 missing, or you got two options, you got two suspects.
Then in that case, I think and not so much because I didn't know this, I think this hypothetical client came to Reddit too early. Like no investigation has popped off, right? There haven't been any interviews with any agencies, with the customer, the manager
that we know of,
right? They're just scared shitless, and they're already contemplating offing themselves. Like, yo, should I fucking leave? Should I resign before all this shit happens? Nah,
unless you're guilty.
Yeah, just see it through, and if because I mean I've never been
unless you did that shit on purpose, and then they're gonna find out when they find a connection between you and the person that you accidentally, I got my fingers up in quotes, accidentally overpay.
Yeah, if it's true what this commenter is saying, and they got like 4K, 8K HD high resolution cameras, and they seen you not only hand over a strap of cash, but also dap up the client, like dap up the fucking, yeah, you fucked up, fam. You fucked up.
Yeah, and you should probably go to Mexico or
You should probably, yeah, I mean, I hear Tijuana's got good tacos and nice weather.
Matter of fact, take a couple straps real quick.
Take a couple of those straps next time you're in the bank and buy a train ticket for them.
Yeah, bro. No, I'm just kidding, bro.
So they say, bank cameras are no joke, they say, and if they see you gave her too much, they should know she's lying. The issue, they say, becomes if you were body blocking it, or if they otherwise cannot prove that you gave her too much. At least, according to my boss, we cannot call our customers a liar without definitive proof, even if we know they are lying. Yeah, that makes sense. I suppose if you were more conscious, I'm speaking to the hypothetical teller client here.
Yeah.
I suppose if they were more conscious about what they were doing, they would know to not be blocking the cameras when they're transacting this business.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they're absent-minded, they're just going about their day and standing in front of cameras and you know, leaving drawers open and shit.
Yeah. No, that's true. I did tell you
that the investigation runs deep. That they got a way to track the transaction and the money as it leaves the vault into the customer's hands. Now it makes sense. Man. It makes sense. Most cameras, they continue. This comment's pretty long. I'm about to be done. Most cameras are there to watch the customers more so than the tellers. I once shorted someone $1,500. It was a denominational exchange. And for some extremely dumb reason, after I banded the 20s, I counted each individual band as 100 instead of 500. And I learned from watching the cameras with our security officer that it's sometimes hard to see what I'm counting if it's directly in front of me due to the camera angle. So they're body blocking it, right? Nowadays, whenever I'm giving out more than a few hundreds, I turn 90 degrees to my left. You see, this person right here is conscious about what they're doing. They know they're being watched on the job, not just to be watched, but to limit the liability they got.
Yes, sir.
Right? So I turn 90 degrees to my left and deliberately count it slightly slower to ensure it's all caught on the camera. And then they finish off with mistakes happened. Mistakes happened. It sounds like your boss likes you. If they cannot prove that the woman is lying and it's your company policy to let you go over that amount, then there might not be much you can do about it. If there's a good shot that they can prove it though, I would stick it out and then apply what you've learned to your future routines.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, learn from your mistakes. Yeah. This cat's about to run from their mistakes just because of the possibility of an investigation going the wrong way.
Yeah, don't be stupid, fool.
Yeah, no, don't be stupid.
Keep your job.
Yeah,
just keep your
especially
job.
If you know you were in the right, you weren't doing anything shady. Yeah. Right? If your intention was not to
just cross your fingers
to rob the bank.
Just cross your fingers that the video did its job.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Like
cross your fingers that like, you weren't in the camera's way.
Like I was telling Alex, man, you know, like these banks, man, they work on like making sure they can get almost every angle.
Yeah.
Because they've had these issues so many times pop up.
Yeah, I think like after casinos, they have cameras to cover just about every square inch of like the counter that you're working on.
Exactly.
They've got to see what's going on the counter you're working on.
Exactly. So I mean, you know, don't hide it. Those kind of mistakes.
Nah, don't. Obviously, Alex was right in saying that start looking for a job if you feel like the hot water's coming in. Like if you feel the pot warming up, shoot out some applications and further, be open. Be open with your manager and ask them to use them as a reference. Like, if you get fired, you get terminated, it was over a mistake, not because you outright stole from the bank, right?
Yeah.
And if your manager is a kind-hearted person, they'll put up a good reference for you.
And in some cases, like, you can even turn that into an asset. You know what I'm saying? In an interview, you know what I mean? Because sometimes they'll ask you like, what's something that you've had to overcome or that you've learned from, you know what I'm saying?
just being conscious of the routines you keep.
Yeah, you let them know I made a mistake, and tell them exactly what you learned from the comment guy. Like, I learned that you should pay attention to your surroundings.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now they got a customer who's already learned from their mistake from somebody else's money, not their money.
They would be hiring somebody on who's experienced, who's got that experience, and won't be prone to fucking up on their dime, like Alex is saying. Fam, well, we're gonna let you go. That was about 30 minutes. But if you have any questions, any comments, don't hesitate to shoot them to us. We'll catch you around. Alex, any last words?
No, that's it for me, bro.
That's it.
I'm good.
Take care. Catch you on the next one.
Peace.